Now, if we look at the size of the community that we are, and the size of the community that we will become, it looks very much as if the Felixstowe Peninsula will increase by about a third.
Yes, I would agree with that. 38% with Felixstowe and Trimley.
Yeah, that's a considerable growth within an area within that time frame. Yes. Now, I think I'm correct in saying...
What time scale are you talking about then?
Well, we're talking 2036.
2036, right.
Yeah.
A third increase in Felixstowe to 2036. Yeah.
So, if we look at what Cllr came out with some little time ago, that the net deficit of dwellings within England was something like 3 million dwellings. And we have 25 million dwellings within the UK, or within England.
Within England, yes.
Yeah. So that's pretty much like 12%.
Right.
They were looking for an increase. So if we are having an increase of 38%, that's sort of 3 times what the expectation.
Yeah,
so is the driving from Westminster that this becomes areas where you've got economic development and you can afford
this
to
is
develop,
very much this local planning authority's push to get Felixstowe developed. Felixstowe is a very, very thriving town. It is growing very much in the jobs front, in the town front, and in the general facilities. And we would like to see this become a very, very thriving little town, large town it's going to become. And that's why the centre of attention went there, because that is an area that can really become, I won't say the jewel in the crown for Suffolk Coastal, but a very, very promising development for Suffolk Coastal. It's got everything going for it that we can see. There might be bits around the edges that you might not like, but it's got a lot going for it. And that's the natural place, we think, to put a number of houses.
Right. Despite the problem with the infrastructure insofar as the road network and the existing network.
The point about it is that when we do that, of course, the planners around here have a look at the problems that would be incurred in that, and they are in the policies that we look at in here. They've listed them out, the schooling, the roads, the doctors, and all the other ones that go with it. They will have to be addressed.
Yes, I accept that, but what I'm talking about is rather a more regional one, which is effectively the road network, the pressure it's currently under, the fact that the dock is yet to get beyond half of the capacity that's allowed to go to, so that traffic will, over the lifetime of this, undoubtedly move towards the 6 million capacity that it has for throughput over that period. And as we know, sadly, the Orwell Bridge is under quite a lot of strain already. And I did raise the point of, are we addressing the northern bypass of Ipswich to give us another feed, not utilising the bridge but utilising the bypass to take a lot of traffic off the bridge that could go to Lowestoft.
If I could give
so it was really
personal view. My own personal view of it is a northern bypass, I think, is going to be essential.
Yes, I would have thought so.
To be able to keep the roads around here going, and that's exactly why they're bringing it forward in planning terms, to try to put to the government to build it. I haven't got the latest picture. It should have been last week, I think, sometime.
Yes, they're supposed to be.
But I haven't seen what that is. But we certainly have discussed in a different forum on a different basis. We've discussed the northern bypass, and it's generally sort of considered to be, it should be dual carriageway, but not. We haven't agreed which one of the 3 routes proposed. No. It's going to be, but you know, fair dues that we can go down that road.
Okay. Can I just show you that no, you need to
that way up.
That way up.
I've got it. I can see Felixstowe.
You can see Felixstowe.
Yes.
And can you see the dotted lines there?
Yeah.
That was the proposal by the Felixstowe Urban District Council back in 1970. Earlys, I would have thought, that they needed to have a bypass to the whole community, and also a feed to the port.
Yes.
And that was a design that they adopted. So they've gone past the Trimleys, past Walton, and into Felixstowe, and they took all the traffic away, because previous to that, on the A45 as was, which was there, that particular road during the week, but particularly at weekends when tourists were coming into the town, was an appalling. It could take you an hour and a half to get from that point to the
Right.
beaches. So that's why the bypass was actually built. The concern I have now, when we look at your garden resort and whatever, we are now putting the housing that people will be in right to and alongside that bypass.
Yeah.
So it really looks as if all the thinking and whatever back in the 70s to improve the quality of life of the community living on the feeder roads into our town are going to be, or the quality will be back to what it would have been on the old A45.
Right.
So what is going to be done to negate
Well,
that impact
you're-
on the community?
You are assuming, of course, that this is a planning application.
Sorry, what?
You're assuming that we've put forward a planning application where we have to address and solve all these issues. The answer is we have listed the fact that there are considerable and serious, well not serious, considerable issues regarding the transport and the movement, the transport infrastructure around the
Right.
site, and it's listed in here.
Yeah.
When it comes to be developed, now we have to start really looking at what are we going to do about the roads, and if we can't have a satisfactory solution to the roads, then it doesn't get built.
Right. So there are safeguards and there are
The
mitigation.
big safeguard is planning.
Right.
No, the biggest safeguard is are there any developers who want to come in and build? That's number one. And secondly, if they do, then they're going to have to put in their planning application in line with the policies that we've put in here, which is schools, roads, da-di-da-di-da.
Right.
And that's what they've got to come up with.
Okay.
So it could put people off, it could encourage people to come. It depends what the demand for houses is in Felixstowe. If there is no demand,
There'll be no bill.
there'll be no build.
Okay, so we're going to make it a very unfriendly, unwelcoming town, and then the residents won't have residents that they don't want joining. Okay, can we just move
I
on?
couldn't possibly comment.
No, and you haven't. Now, a question here was, has the existing local plan addressed local needs? And when I say local needs, I'm talking about affordability for our young folk,
Yes.
which is a key concern of pretty much all of us, I think.
Yes.
But there is another one, and that is currently we seem to have underutilisation of the existing housing stock, because for people of my age and older, and particularly those who are the survivor of a partnership, there is a lack of downsized housing
Yes.
for them to move into, and that which does exist seems to be very expensive and doesn't actually take care of end of life need, such as some of the sheltered housing previous that were built in Felixstowe did. So did the current existing local plan, is it addressing either of those two key issues?
The thing
really?
that certainly will address is the fact that when as I said earlier on, I've been around most of the villages in Suffolk Coastal, and I would say a standard thing that comes up, we want something for first-time buyers and last-time buyers.
Absolutely
is
right.
what they're
Couldn't have put
coming
it better.
And therefore that was the basis of the whole plan, and that's why we have policies in here very much about affordable housing and what we're going to do it. Particularly when we start looking at rural communities, because a lot of the rural communities want the ability to develop their own little small-scale development for their own people. If you
In
see
an
what I mean.
organic way.
And what we're talking about there is exception sites, and we're talking about infill to a certain extent, and that's the policies we put in this document specifically to address those.
Right.
But certainly there is the encouragement to build affordable houses. I'm not sure that over the past we haven't built enough the houses that we need, but we have built the houses that we've got in our policies, if you see what I mean.
Ish.
Yes, well, you know what I mean. We have a policy.
Yes.
And it's very easy to say you've just got to build lots and lots of affordable houses, and the next thing you get is a developer sitting at the table and in planning at the planning committee saying that this is not viable. And we've seen it, of course, very close, just up the road.
Yes.
The thing there, and they will, and it's a long and serious consideration.
It is.
Is my plan viable? Because you've now got sill.
Yes.
You've got other things about environmental things that cost them about £1,000 a house. Then you stick on, well, of course, at the moment it's a third is affordable houses. If you increased it to 50%, you wouldn't get them built because they wouldn't do it.
Okay, that possibly.
But we have seriously, I'm talking about because I know, because
Yeah.
I said it at the policy thing, we have seriously got to look at, and we have, at the first time, last time buyers across the piece,
Yes,
let
we
alone in the countryside, is a serious problem out there. And
Yeah.
if the parish council want to do it, and they've got a bit of land, we will be there
Right.
with an exception site.